So number 9, converting to image. What do we mean by that? Well, we talked about redistilling as a way of fixing problems, and converting to image is obviously another way of fixing problems. If you have a document that doesn't work on the RIP, what you could do is create a rasterized version of that document. By doing so, you end up with a document that is basically one image per page, and you would expect a RIP to have less issues printing that than the original PDF that can be very complex. And it doesn't even have to be bigger than the original PDF. If the original PDF contains lots of images that are overlapping, or you had a very good designer who left a whole bunch of stuff outside of the page, or multiple versions on the page overlapping, your rasterized PDF might even be smaller than what you had originally. Yeah. So is this a good idea or a bad idea? Well, in general, it's a bad idea because, and you should realize this, because you're rasterizing a page, and that is, of course, dependent. The quality that you're going to end up with is going to depend on the resolution of that rasterization that you do. And of course, you could say, I'm going to rasterize this at a very high resolution. The question is, are you going to be able to do it at a higher resolution that normally the RIP would do it? And even if it's higher, it might not be exactly the same resolution as the RIP, and you might have some differences there. So generally, you're going to get less quality than what you had in the original document. But it is true that it could fix the problem that you have. And even if you have a little bit less quality in what gets printed, that is still better than not being able to print it in the first place. Yes. So you can do this, but you have to be, again, aware of what you are doing. Once more, don't do this for all documents in a workflow. And don't think that no one does that in their right mind, because the reason that we bring up these topics is because we've seen cases, instances where people actually do this in their workflow. So don't do it for all documents, do it in case that you have a problem. Secondly, make sure when you do this that you do it at a resolution that is high enough that you're not going to get too much degradation of quality, especially if you have documents with small text in it. Again, your resolution is going to have to be high enough that that small text is still legible in the end as well. Yeah. And then perhaps most importantly, make sure that you do it using a tool that is made for that. And by preference, a tool that is designed to deal with PDF. And we already know, or you should already know, that Illustrator is not a tool designed for PDF. So please don't use Illustrator for this. Preferably also don't use Photoshop for this, because Photoshop wasn't designed to deal with PDF either. And there are quite a few things in PDF that Photoshop doesn't deal with correctly. Use a tool that was designed for it. Acrobat, for example. Open the file in Acrobat and save it as an image in Acrobat. Or use a tool such as Acrobat Preflight or PDF Toolbox or Pitstop, where you can open a file and save it as an image. Make sure while you are doing that, that you don't fall into the trap that Christian just mentioned. You have to generate an image that does overprint preview, or otherwise you're not going to get a correct file. Yeah? And watch out for resolution, and make sure that the resolution of what you generate is high enough. And of course, we're not telling you that if you have a banner or you have a car wrap or something that is going to be printed on the side of a building, that you have to generate it at 300 dpi. That's not the idea. The idea is that you think about what a useful resolution is, or a good resolution is, for the type of document that you have, and then use that when you do the conversion to an image.